Welcome to the channel. This is Geauxgreddy and welcome to the 2020-21 FIA Manufacturers Series. Tonight we are at Interlagos in the Group 4 cars. Here I am out on my qualifying lap, which proves to be very important in tonight's race, as tonight is a fuel saving race. So stick around and check out the action. As I said, it is a fuel saving race tonight. It is fuel 5 times. And we have only the option for racing hard tires, so you can make it a one stop if you want to, but word on the street is it is quicker if you do not stop for fuel and tires. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and stretch it out for a no stopper. So that makes this very important qualifying, because if you qualify up near in the front, you're in the slipstream of the lead group. So if they do pit, then you've got that lead over them, whereas if you're behind them and they pit and they come out either behind you, well, typically they'll come out behind you. Usually you get slowed down as they pass you, or as you interact with one another on the track, because you cannot take the good racing line if you're side by side going into corners. So very critical to get a good qualifying. Interlagos is not my best track. I love Interlagos. I really enjoy the track, the flow of the track. I'm just not very fast here, but as you can see, I slip outside a little bit there, get a little bit of dirt on the tires, and it just does not want to grip in that last corner, and I get a 2.5 penalty. And I look down, I have a minute 39 remaining. There is no time to exit and come back in for another lap. Okay, see at the bottom right, 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. It's a minute and 40 around the track. So if I go in the pits, pit back in, I got to come down the pit lane, come out. I may make it, I may not. So there's a chance I don't get a qualifying lap at all. So I was like, oh my, it's like the worst place on the so if I get a penalty here, then I can exit and come back in and complete a lap and do another hot lap. Where I got it was the worst place on the track you could get the penalty. It's the end of the second lap of a hot lap, and I didn't have anything. I couldn't. There's nothing I could do. It's kind of like when you're stuck, when you're going through an intersection, the light turns yellow on you, like the worst spot. It's like, do I stop? Do I go? And so I pressed on, and well, it didn't turn out too well. And I crossed the line after the second qualifying with the 142.621, which is good enough for P19. So I definitely had my work cut out for me as we start the race here. It is a rolling start, and of course it starts me in the AMG at the top of first gear, so I'm banging off the rev limiter, so no help from Gran Turismo Sport there. Shifted to seconds quickly as I could, try to warm up these hard tires as much as possible, and I need to get into the slipstream of those folks in front of me, because I've got some fuel saving to do. But in order to save fuel, the first thing I need to do is get onto the back end of that train in front of me. I got to get on the back bumper of that GTR. I need to get within 3/4 of a second just at the edge of that right now. So I need to get through this double apex with some decent speed and try to catch up to the back of this train, which I am able to do. So moving along, lap 3, the P15, I think it was P15 driver, the Mario Superdose in front of me here. He has fallen back to P18, so either the guys in front are pushing really hard and they're going to do a one-stopper, or he's saving a lot of fuel and falling back. As you can see, me on this bottom left side of my fuel map, I've got 11 laps of fuel left, and we have 12 laps to go. Really 12.25, I guess you could say. So I am about 1.5 laps short of where I need to be fuel wise. As we now start lap number 4, I need 12 laps of fuel, and I have 10.4. So yeah, about 1.5 laps of fuel is what I need to save in order to make it to the end of the race without running out of gas. But at some point up here, I'm gonna have to get more aggressive with my fuel saving. You know, still needing that lap and a half of fuel, and being a third of the way through, or less than a third of the way through the race, just a little bit less than a third of the way through the race. I'm going to have to find it somewhere. As the Corvette goes wide through the double left-hander here, he gets a little bit of dirt on his tires, and then he slides in front of me. I think he was thinking the 86 was going to go to the outside. He did not. And he gets a love tap from me and a half-second penalty. So a little bit of brutal penalty there by the game. But I decided to go and stick it down the inside since he has those dirty tires and make it stick through this little, infield section of the track here. The Lexus tries to follow me through behind me, and the Corvette denies him. So as we head towards the straight, things will get interesting again as the Corvette decides he's going to try and send it here on the Senna S and puts it on the inside. So I leave him room in there and I hang it around the outside and able to hold my position as I stay in whopping P17. Now, the 86 gets a penalty for something. I didn't really catch what he did. He may have cut the track. The H2O also gets a 3-second penalty. I don't know what he did, but it must have been pretty bad, whatever he did. So he falls back. So I wasn't really thinking here. I probably should have maybe pushed a little bit harder to get back into that 86's slipstream, but that Corvette kind of messed me up back there. So fast forward, the 86 serves his penalty, and I'm just right there on the edge of getting back into that slip. As you can see, I mean, just within the range there, but I'm going to have to take this next second of track pretty good. So I do catch back up to him as we fast forward here to lap 6. You will see someone going way off to the right there, and that is Bob's All or Bob's Al or whatever that is, his name is. And pay attention to that, where he is. Now, this is lap 6, and he's behind me. He actually goes into the pits right as we come around that final curve. So heading on to lap number 9, still not looking too great on the fuel there. I am needing 7 laps of fuel, so I'm still 1.4 short. So I start really getting aggressive with the lean settings there. I was in lean 6 coming down the hill, putting the lean 2, but I really needed to drop it back to 1 to make sure I stay in that 3/4 second range with the Mazda in front of me. As the 86 has made that pass through there. So I'm lifted and trying to coast as much as I can wherever I can. And of course that allows the Lexus to get right up on my rear bumper. Now, he has just been hanging back there the entire time, and probably, wise on his part. He's probably saving a boatload of fuel back there. And the Lexus is good on fuel anyway, so it'll be interesting to see what he does near the end of the race, if he's able to push a little harder or not. I'm on lean fuel 6. I am desperately trying to find that last lap and a half of fuel that I need to get to the finish line. And honestly, at this point in the race, it's like, man, I may have to pit. We'll see. So as we cross the line here in lap 10, you can see I have 4.8 laps of fuel. We have 6 to go. So I found about 3/10 of a lap of fuel. So a little bit better there as the 86 and the Mazda go side by side. I chose the Mazda to be a little bit faster down the straight. He's able to tug me past the 86 there, and I'm needing him to come over the left, but luckily I've got enough momentum I can get past the 86. And you'll notice in the rearview mirror, you'll see a Porsche coming into the view there, and that is our first one-stopper. So he started, I think, right around P4 or so. So you can see where he has fallen all the way back there, probably around P12 or P13 when he came back out of the pits. And he is on my tail now. Now, I'm really happy here behind the Mazda, so I'm kind of upset that he came along right here. I was sitting in 9th. Boy, he sends it down the inside with those fresh tires, too. Now, I'm going to give him the position. I'm not going to race him dirty or force him outside or anything, but I also don't want to lose too much time to this Mazda. So, a little awkward there. And I'm trying to also defend against the 86 coming back around me because I really want to follow the Porsche back onto the Mazda's rear bumper. So as I was trying to let the Porsche by, not let the 86 by, stay in the Mazda slipstream, trying to do 3 things at one time, not easy on the racetrack. But I did a fairly good job there. I have fallen about 6/10 behind the Porsche. Not too good as we have our second one-stopper appear on the back bumper, and that is Justin P3. I want to say he started right around P9 or P10 or so. I don't remember exactly, but so he is also caught up to us, and I'm just going to let him through on the Senna S here. I am not going to put it side by side. I'm just going to follow him through. It was a good place for him to pass. It was a good place for me to back off early. So he caught me right about the right spot. So I followed his slipstream, and he pulled me right back to the Mazda, which is where I wanted to be. And so we end up kind of back in the order we were. Now I'm sitting in P11. It started in P19. So I've gained a few positions up to this point. The Lexus now has caught up to me rather quickly. He was pretty far back there with no slip. Now he drugged the 86 up here with him. I was kind of upset about that, as something occurred between the Citroen there, between Justin and the Porsche, and the Porsche goes off. Lucas goes off track there, and it looked like he was going to hold back and wait for him, but then he got back on the gas there, so it kind of put us in a little awkward situation. And I thought I was going to follow him through past the Lexus, but the Lexus is, I mean, he is putting the power down, and it feels like fuel map 1 along with that Citroen. So apparently that fuel saving has paid off in this last third of the race. He is going to push a little bit harder. Now my thought was that he was still going to have to save some fuel, and so I would, replace the Mazda with him. Now as we enter the Senna S, watch this as I delay my turn in there. So the 86 misses me just by a hair. So it's like, whoa, what happened there? I didn't know if he was hit from behind or what. So here he is, basically in a drag race with the Mazda. Around the right side comes the Corvette. Now he's a one-stopper, and it looks like he's just paying attention to the Corvette and just completely misses his braking point and just sends it down the inside of me, just missing me and everyone else. So no harm, no foul there. But just was, 3 wide going into that S, and he just totally missed his brake point there. So Newbar goes by, our third one-stopper, along with High 1583, who is our fourth one-stopper to come back by us. So we are now in P12. Now I was thinking that, I might have been doing pretty good up there at P9, but it doesn't look like it now. On lap 13, behind me is Apex 86. Now, if you remember, that is the driver who I said I needed to get into the slipstream at the very beginning of the race. He was in P18 right in front of me. Now I'm looking at this going, man, I wish I had one stop, because he's got 2 laps to go and he's got fresh tires and plenty of gas in the tank, where I have worn tires and I've got 2 laps of fuel with 2.5 laps to go. So I'm still looking for another half a lap of fuel, as you'll recognize this name as well. Bob's All, or Bob's Al, or whichever it is. He went off track earlier. Remember, I told you he pitted. So he caught back up to us as well. And Lucas is caught back up to us after getting run off track. So in hindsight, kind of wishing I had jumped into the pit right around lap 6 or so and gone for that one stopper. Now, with only 1 lap to go, I was going to try and defend that position, but Lucas, he just sends it right down the inside halfway in the grass. So he makes a pass half on the infield, half on the track. Well done there by Lucas on that pass. I didn't put up much of a fight. I felt kind of like I was going into a gunfight with a butter knife there. Tires and just having to save fuel, it wasn't going to work. I couldn't hold off those 2 guys. I did try, though. I gave it some effort to try and put up some defense, but no good. So we head down the straight here. I have just enough fuel left, 0% as I cross the line, and finish in P15. So picked up 4 positions. I guess that's not too terrible considering how it started, but kind of wish I'd done that one stop. Got a few points there. But overall, I enjoyed the race. I had fun in the race. I like Interlagos. I think it just flows well. It makes for good passing and defending opportunities, and the folks around me were driving super clean, so that made it a lot of fun as well. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like and or subscribe. Come back, check out some more, and we'll see you next race. Until then, for myself, Geauxgreddy, y'all have a great evening. DJcLean, take us out of here.